Welcome to the second of our stability workout. So this one is more for your upper body. So feel free to interchange this with the lower body one and do whatever feels right to you. We're going to start on all fours for our rhomboid push-up now. So come onto your hands and your knees. Remember, we want our fingers spread wide, thumbs point towards each other and elbow pits forwards. Have your knees directly under your hips. Now from here, you're going to allow your shoulder blades to come together in your back and then press the shoulder blades wide. Shoulder blades come together and shoulder blades wide. Imagine there's a pencil along the length of your spine and you're trying to grip the pencil with your shoulder blades and then let it go. Let your head hang here and just keep moving through your rhomboid push-up. Notice if your elbow pits are starting to sneak to look at each other. And keep trying to keep those elbow pits forwards. And the other thing to watch is notice if you're starting to become a little bit of a tortoise and your head is disappearing into your shoulders, and try and pull those shoulders down away from your ears. So we do that. I say imagine that you're drawing your armpits down towards your waist. 2 more. Last one. And then just come on off your hands for a moment. Always give your hands a little rest. Maybe do little circles with your wrists. Give them a shake out and come off your hands as much as you need to. So we're going to do very similar to that, but we're going to go on to our forearms this time. So, forearms down on the mat. Let's have our palms facing down. Same distance between your hands as you have your elbows. And your hips are over your knees. So from here, you're going to again allow your shoulder blades to come together and shoulder blades wide. Shoulder blades together, shoulder blades wide. Keep going. Think again about pulling your armpits down towards your waist so that your shoulders aren't up around your ears. And if you are a rib thruster, try and keep your ribs in, because it's very tempting here to kind of, that's me using just my rib cage. If I keep the ribs in, and I move just the shoulder blades, it's different. So again, we're just looking to get as much movement here as we can, and we're really working those serratus muscles, which are kind of here. These are the guys that we want. So if you're feeling it there, you know that you're in the right place. 2 more. Good job. And then again, just come on up and just give your shoulders a little circle around. Maybe just gently turning your head from side to side. We don't want to be creating any tension here. Okay, so the next movement that we're going to do is crawling. So you're going to come onto your hands and knees. Start right at one end of your mat. Fingers spread wide. Elbow pits forward so that your shoulders and upper back is in a really nice neutral position to start with. Okay, so as you reach one arm forwards and place that hand down, notice whether you're collapsing into your shoulder blades and try and keep your shoulder blades nice and wide. So we're going to go really slowly to begin with. We're going to do one hand forwards and then we're going to do the opposite knee. Stable through your shoulders, other arm forwards, other knee. Hand, knee. Hand, knee. One more time. Hand, knee. Okay, we're going to reverse it this time. So hand, knee. Hand, knee, hand, knee, hand, knee. Okay, so we're going to put them together and you're just looking to make sure that you aren't collapsing and your body's not wriggling all over the place. We want to keep as stable as we can. So you can go as slow as you like, elbow pits forwards. We're going to do hand and knee together, hand and knee together, hand and knee together. Hand and knee together. One more time. Hand and knee together. Can you reverse? Hand and knee. Hand and knee. Hand and knee. Hand and knee. Okay, so I might be going a little bit fast for you. Let's just do a few more in your own time. Thinking about being nice and stable. And you might have to really think about this movement. It might be a very long time since you last crawled. But just going forwards and backwards on your mat. Don't have to travel very far. However, if you want to crawl around your house, then absolutely feel free. Wherever you're at, just crawl once more just to the middle of your mat. And then just come on down to seated and just give your hands a little twirl around and a little shake out. Okay, we're going to lie down on our back now with our knees bent and our feet flat on the floor. Remember, if you need to bolster, if your ribs aren't quite down on the floor, pop something under your head. Feet and knees hip width apart, arms just down by your sides. I'm going to take it into some arm overs. So we're going to reach the arms towards the ceiling. We're going to have the palms facing in towards each other and shoulder blades are anchored onto the mat. So get your shoulder blades anchored onto the mat. Now we're going to inhale as we take those arms overhead. Only go as far as you can, keep the ribs down, and then we're going to exhale as we bring the arms back towards the ceiling. So inhale, arms go overhead as far as you can without the ribs lifting, and exhale back to the ceiling. Keep going. Inhale, reach, and exhale. Inhale, arms go over, and exhale. Come back up towards the ceiling. Just a couple more there. So you're really just looking at the range of movement you have through your shoulders without having to lift your ribs. Okay, and then just lower your arms down. We're going to take the arms down by our sides now. We're going to take it into some floor angels. So let's have palms facing up towards the ceiling. And again, we're going to keep those ribs down. We're going to start to slide the hands out to the sides. Imagine that you're making a snow angel. And let the arms lift as high as they can towards your head, still on the floor, but don't allow your ribs to lift. And then slowly lowering your hands back down. So let's go again. Inhale as you reach your arms out and up towards your head. And then exhale as you come back down. Keep those palms facing up towards the ceiling, keeping your shoulders in a really nice neutral position rather than reinforcing that round position that we seem to spend most of our life in. Let's do two more here. Just moving with the speed of your breath in your own time. And slowly lowering your hands down. Good job. Just rest there. Maybe bring your knees into your chest, give your knees a little hug, and just rock gently side to side. So we're going to roll onto our side now. So rolling onto your side. And we're going to use our bottom arm just to cradle our head. We're going to have our knees bent. And then notice whether your pelvis is tipping in towards you. Can you level out your pelvis and get those hip bones stacked one on top of the other, and the feet are just together. Okay, so we're going to reach that top arm towards the ceiling. We're going to really reach that arm. Think about that shoulder blade moving away from your spine. We're going to take that arm over our head towards the floor. And maybe your hand comes down to the floor and maybe it doesn't. It's absolutely fine. We're just reaching that arm. And then we're going to bring it back up towards the ceiling. Keep reaching. And again, take that arm overhead. And reaching back to the ceiling. We're going to do one more time. Reach, keep stretching, keep reaching, and come back towards the ceiling. Okay, now we're going to do a little bit of a twist. So we're going to take that arm back behind us and we're going to twist the upper body. You can keep your hand under your head or you can let that hand come around if you like. I kind of like to bring that hand around onto my hip. If you need to have something under your head, feel free to grab something under your head. I'm going to take that arm out to the side and we're going to take it up and diagonally to the side. And we're reaching that arm to that high diagonal. You can turn your head to look that same way if that feels good for you. We're stretching and we're reaching that arm. And then we're going to start to move that arm down towards our hip and then back up towards that high diagonal. And again down towards your hip. Your palm is still facing up towards the ceiling. Still trying to keep the knees down. And maybe when you've done a few of those little diagonals, those little kind of semicircles, maybe your hand will start to reach down towards the floor. We're still reaching the arm, we're still thinking about that shoulder blade being wide, but maybe you can come down towards the floor. And then when the arm comes back up to that high diagonal, we're just going to hold it there. Allow your arm to relax as much as you can. Try and let your shoulder relax. And then we're going to reach the arm back up towards the ceiling again. And just allow the arm to relax down. I'm going to do the same on the other side. So I'm going to turn over so that my back is to you, so that when I do the twist you can kind of see a little bit more. So again, we're on our side. You can have your head propped in your hand, or you can use a little cushion or something like that, so knees are bent. We're going to reach that top arm to the ceiling, so really reaching that shoulder blade, and then taking your arm overhead. Maybe it reaches the floor, maybe it doesn't. It doesn't matter. Just reaching that arm to the ceiling again. Lengthen that arm. Again, taking it overhead. Reach the arm for the ceiling. Lengthen. And again, overhead towards that floor behind you. Over your head, sorry. Okay, now reach it up towards the ceiling. And this is where we're going to add that little twist. Again, you can keep your head in your hand if you want to, or you can let that hand go. Take that arm to that high diagonal behind you. We're trying to keep our knees down. And we're reaching that arm to that high diagonal. And then we're going to allow that arm to come down towards your hip. And reaching back up. And maybe it will reach the floor. Maybe it won't. It doesn't matter. You are wherever you are right now. As your arm comes up to that high diagonal again this time, we're going to reach that arm up to the ceiling and lower it down. Good job. Roll yourself just onto your back for a moment, bring your knees into your chest and just rock gently side to side, just allowing your lower back to release a little bit into the floor. We're going to lie onto our front now, so roll onto your front. And we're going to do the dart series. So you can rest your forehead down onto your mat. Again, if you wish, you can have a little towel or something to rest your forehead on there. Okay. And then you're going to take your arms down by your sides, feet are hip width apart, and pubic bone is anchored into the mat. So again, we're thinking about anchoring the pubic bone to lengthen the lower back, so we don't want any compression or shortening of the lower back. So our palms are facing in towards the sides of our trousers. And we want length through the back of the neck. I'm just hovering my head off so that you can hear me. Okay, so from here, we're going to reach both arms back behind us. Keep the palms facing in towards each other and then lowering back down. Keep that pubic bone anchored as you reach the arms and lower them down. Notice if you have a tendency to thrust your rib cage into the mat. If you're pressing your lower rib cage into the mat, can you just pull your ribs into you a little bit so that your ribs are not thrusting into the mat. Now notice here, as you reach your arms behind you, are they going wider? Which is just tension through the shoulders. Can you keep the arms close together, about hip width apart the whole time? We're going to do two more like this. And then we're going to rest the arms down for a moment there. We're going to take it into a single arm next. So, palm facing in towards the sides of your trousers again. You're going to reach one arm behind you and then allow that arm to twist so the palm faces up towards the ceiling. And then as the arm comes back down, the palm's going to face in towards your trousers again. So reach the arm behind you, allow that arm to twist, palm reaches for the ceiling, and as it comes back in, it rotates back to your start position. Keep going. Notice again if the arm is wanting to go out wide to the side, try and keep it in close. One more time. And relax it down. Let's do the other side. So arm reaches and rotates, so palm to the ceiling, and then comes back in. Make sure you've not lost that pubic bone in contact with the mat, and make sure you aren't thrusting your rib cage. And you do two more. And then let's push ourselves up and back into that rest position, just to give your lower back a little bit of a stretch. When you've been laying on your front for a while, it's always a good idea to just give yourself a little stretch. So we're going to come to seated now for some seated shoulder work. Now I want you to find a comfortable position. I don't have a particular position that I want your legs to be in, so whatever works for you, but don't just stay in that one position. Feel free to switch it around a little bit. If you need to sit on a cushion or a towel or something to be comfortable and to find a neutral pelvis, then please go and grab something for you. Okay, so shoulder series. We're going to take one arm forwards. Imagine that you're holding a cup of water and you're going to tip that water out. So you're in that external rotation. We're going to take the arm out to the side, but we want to keep a soft bend in the elbow so you're not straightening your arm out. Then I want you to think about pulling or pushing your elbow away from your shoulder so that you're creating like a traction stretch from your elbow all the way through your shoulder and through your chest. Reaching that arm away from the elbow. And then bring that arm back in. Let's do the same on the other side. So arm reaches forwards, holding a cup of water. Tip that water out so you're in that external rotation. Take your arm out to the side, keeping that little bend. And again, think about the elbows pulling away from the shoulder to create that stretch. Okay, I'm going to just take a couple of breaths here. Just feel what you feel. Notice. Awareness is everything. Let's go back to the first side. So reach the arm. Tip out the water, external rotation, traction that elbow away, and let's tip the head. So bringing your ear down towards your opposite shoulder will increase the stretch. If that's too much, you can bring your head back into center, reach. Bring it in. Other side, reach the arm forwards, tip out your cup of water, traction that elbow away. And reach your head, your ear to your opposite shoulder. Good job, bring it in, release and circle. And the other way. So you might be wondering, why are we concentrating on shoulders and moving the shoulders when we're looking more about core and pelvic floor? As I've said probably 1,000 times, and you're probably sick of hearing, everything is connected. Nothing works in isolation. So if you have a lot of tension through your neck, then your shoulders won't be moving very well, which means your body is then going to be compensating for it, and everything is connected. So sometimes people come and they have issues perhaps with their neck. Well, it might be that their feet aren't very mobile. So you cannot fix anything in isolation. So even though we're looking at strengthening the core and healing any issues with the pelvic floor, we have to fix and move the whole body. And anybody that does have issues with one thing will find that they have issues with everything. So we cannot just work on the core and the pelvic floor without looking at how mobile is the shoulders, how much tension are we holding through the chest. Everything is connected. So you're going to be doing everything. We're going to do a little bit more now. So take your arm behind your back. Okay, so I've just brought my hand across and around my back. Notice in here if it's making your shoulder and your chest round forwards, can you roll your shoulder open? And if you're seated, maybe switch up your position if you can. And just see how that feels. Notice if there is a tendency to rib thrust here. So if you're very tight through the shoulders, sometimes in order to get your arm back there, it can be quite hard work. So quite often people will rib thrust to make it easier to bring the arm back there rather than having to take the arm further back. So notice, can you relax your shoulders down anymore? Check your jaw. Are you holding any tension in your jaw? Can you let your jaw relax? Release the arm. Let's give it a little move around. Let's do the other side. So hand goes behind. Notice again, have you had to round your shoulder forwards? Can you kind of roll the shoulder up and down to Allow the chest to open out. Check in with the ribs. Have you had to lift the ribs? Have you twisted? Just always notice any compensations that your body makes. Sometimes they're just a movement pattern that we do all of the time and we don't really realise that we're doing something different. Alright, let it go. Again, just a little bit of movement there. We're going to go back to our cup of water tipping out exercise, but we're going to do both hands together this time. So both hands out in front. We're going to tip the water out on both sides and take the arms out to the side, keeping that soft elbow and traction in, so pulling the elbow away from the shoulder, keep the shoulders down, keep thinking about tipping that water out, and drop your chin towards your chest this time, lengthening the back of your neck, and take some deep breaths there. And slowly bring your head back up, keeping length through the back of the neck. And we're going to release the arms. Give your shoulders a little circle. And the other way. Okay, we're going to take the hand behind the back again. And then this time, can you start to sneak your lower arm up your spine? So rather than it going straight across your back, it's going up your spine. And turn on so you can kind of see what that looks like. So it was here before, and now we're trying to sneak it up the back. Notice again, have you had to really round that shoulder forwards? Can you keep those shoulders nice and wide? How does it feel? How much is your elbow wanting to come out to the side? Can you try and keep your upper arm as vertical as you can? And take some deep breaths. Try and find softness here. So if it's causing a lot of tension and you're starting to clench your teeth and round, just let your arm come back down again. You are where you are. Let it go. Let's do the same on the other side. So the hand goes behind and then starts to sneak up your spine. If your elbow wants to poke out to the side, try and get it as vertical as you can. And maybe that means you need to just come out of it a little bit, keeping your chest and your shoulders open. Be as relaxed as you can. So by kind of blowing past your boundaries and trying to do more than your body is ready for, is never going to strengthen and heal your body. You have to work with where you are right now, and just by practicing and doing over and over again, you will improve and you will get better and you'll be able to do more and more. But you have to respect the boundaries that your body has right now. All right. Oh, so good. Let it go. Little circle. And the other way. Okay. One more. Take that hand behind. Sneak it up your back. Shoulders down. This time, can you flip your hand so that your palm is against your spine rather than facing up? And if that's too much for you, then just go back a step, or 2 steps, or 3 steps, wherever you need to be. Let's just take a few breaths there. Try to let go of any tension. And let it go. Just moving your arm around a little bit. Other side, take the hand behind. Sneak it up your back. Thinking about keeping an open wide chest. Can you flip your palm? And it could be completely different one side to the other. And just take some deep breaths. Good. When you're ready to come out of that, moving slowly, come on out, a little twirl. Let's circle the shoulders. And reverse. And just gently turn your head from side to side. I'm going to take our hands behind us now and interlace our fingers behind. So I'll just turn so that you can see what I did. So just interlace my fingers behind my back and my hands are resting down against my bottom. So from here, what I want you to do is try and get your shoulder blades to come together in your back. So you're kind of walking your shoulder blades in towards each other. So keep the ribs down because it's tempting to want to lift the ribs. Ribs stay down, shoulder blades walk in towards each other. Can you feel, can you get the bottom of your shoulder blades together? Can you get the middle of your shoulder blades together? Can you get the top of your shoulder blades together? Can you drop your chin towards your chest? Keep pulling those shoulder blades in, keep the ribs in. So again, we're really working on getting those shoulders moving. Let it go. We're going to do reverse prayer hands now. So going to bring your hands together in a prayer position and then just flip them over so the backs of the hands are together. Pull your thumbs away from the fingers, so my thumbs have come out to the side, and keep the backs of your hands pressing into each other. Start to lower your hands down until your forearms are parallel to the floor at about elbow height. So this is really nice for stretching out the hands, the fingers. Roll shoulders and collarbones open, making sure that you aren't rounding here. And then either keep your hands here or you can gently just rock side to side. So your body stays still, it's just the hands that are going. Notice if those backs of the hands are wanting to split apart and find a place where you can keep them together. So maybe you have to come up a little bit higher. And just kind of playing with that movement. Let it go, just give your hands a little twirl around in each direction. Okay, so we're going to come back onto all fours now. So back onto your hands and knees. And we're going to do a little bit of wrist loading. So we need to really stabilise and strengthen our wrists. So we're going to have fingers spread wide and thumbs point towards each other again. Knees directly under hips. Okay, so a lot of people have pain in their wrists. So I want you to make sure that you're loading your weight really evenly here. So most people have all of the weight through the heel of the hand. I want you to have weight even between the base of the first finger, base of the little finger and heel of your hand. So the whole of your hand is really anchored into the mat. And we're just going to rock our weight gently forwards and backwards. Elbow pits should always be forwards. We should always be in that neutral position. And you can make this very small. It doesn't need to be big. If you're struggling with your wrists, kind of back off and just load them a little bit. If your wrists are fine, load them more, come more forwards. How about we do a little bit of side to side? If you're really struggling with your wrists, you can roll your mat up and have the heel of the hand slightly higher than your fingers. But eventually we want to really get those wrists nice and strong. So just practice this as much as you can without, again, blowing past your boundaries. You want to respect your boundaries. Can you turn your hands out? So let's turn them to like 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock. And again, rock forwards and backwards. How about side to side? How about turn them out to 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock? Rock forwards and backwards. If any of these positions feel just really terrible for you, don't do them. Rock side to side. Can you turn them to 5 o'clock and 7 o'clock? Forwards and backwards. Side to side. How about last one, can you get them to point towards you? And again, it will be probably a much smaller movement here, and that's fine. Just super gentle, side to side. All right. And when you're ready, just come off your wrists and give them a little twirl around. So take your time with that, just move very slowly and really just pay attention to what feels right for your body. Not that that feels great for anybody really, but you do want to load them. You do want to build strength in the wrists. The wrists are an area that we lose bone density, so it is an area that is prone to osteoporosis. And the reason that that happens is that we aren't loading the bones. We're not weight bearing with them. So your body isn't going to maintain dense, heavy bone that it's not using. So the more you can load your wrists, the more the body is going to strengthen them. And same goes for hips and for ankles and all of that. So there's one more little exercise here, and only do this if it feels okay for you, because it's weird. You're going to flip your hands over so that you are on the backs of your hands this time. Spread your fingers wide. How does that feel? Ooh, can you rock a little bit there? Can't move very much there at all, just feels disgusting. And my elbows are really wanting to bend, so I'm trying to keep my elbows straight. And then come off. Give them a little wriggle. Just come back to seated, and we're going to just bring the palms facing forwards, fingertips down on the floor, and can you get each fingertip down on the floor? And you're trying to extend the fingers, so you're trying to keep the fingers straight, but allow them to go backwards, kind of extend back, because what you're looking for is that they're not bending, they're not buckling. So the fingers stay straight, and with your traction in against the floor to press the palms away from you. To stretch. All right, come on out of that, give your fingers a little wriggle. Circle your wrists, circle the other way, and then pull your elbow in by your side and turn your palm up. Use your other hand to pull your fingers back, and then pull each finger in turn to give the fingers a stretch, and your thumb. Same on the other side, elbow tucks in, pull all the fingers back, and then gently pull each finger in turn. Give them a wriggle again. All right, guys. So that is you done for your second stability workout. As always, if you have any questions, anything that you want to just check with me, let me know. If you need any modifications that I haven't mentioned, please let me know. And as always, just listen to your body and don't blow past those boundaries. You will get there one step at a time. Thank you.